Hello students, welcome back. This is Dr. Mercado speaking. I hope all of you had a restful week number 11. We did have a short week because we did have that semester break. So I hope all of you enjoyed that little break there that you had to recharge your batteries because we are approaching the end of the semester quickly. This week we begin week number 12, which runs from April the 5th through April the 11th. So we are almost in the finish line. We're almost at the end of the semester. It is imperative that we finish strong, that we complete all of our assignments, that we give it our all so we can be able to successfully complete the semester. Okay, now this is Accounting 2401, Principles of Financial Accounting, and this is the lecture for week number 12. Now during this lecture, I'm not going to go over any of the content because this week is a super important week because we are completing test number 2. Okay, now I did provide students with the review for the test during week 11. That way they could have time to review, practice, go back into Cengage and look at their past homework assignments, take notes, all of the good stuff, okay? So I did give you, since last week, I did inform you of exactly what was going to be on the test, and I allowed you to ask questions last week. This week, it's all the only assignment that you have that needs to be completed is the test. Okay, let me jump over here. Okay, so this week you will be having test number 2 over chapters 5, 6, and 7. Now the test is only going to be available for 3 days. Okay, so mark your calendars. The test is going to be available on Monday, April the 5th, 2021 from 8 in the morning through Wednesday, April the 7th, 2021 at 11 p.m. Okay, so during that time frame, you can take the test whenever you want. It can be in the morning, it can be at night, it can be during your lunch break, whatever makes you happy. Okay, whatever works for your schedule. Okay, but just make sure that you do meet the requirement that the test must be completed within that time frame. Okay, super important. So once you're done with the test, then you can move on to your group project. Okay. This week we are going to begin on group project number 2. And I know a lot of you hate group projects. I can hear it already, okay? But it's super important that we learn to collaborate, to communicate, to work with others, okay? That is why I assign group projects, okay? Not only are you going to learn about the subject that we're covering, but you're also going to learn to interact with others, to do problem solving, critical thinking, research skills, writing skills, presentation skills, collaboration skills. So I like these projects because this is what you're going to be doing when you go out there in the workforce. It's not going to be you just working by yourself all the time. You're going to have to work with others. And believe it or not, you're going to sometimes work with people you don't like, okay? People you don't get along with, okay? You need to learn how to figure that out and still produce a high quality project, okay? So that is why I give these group projects, not because I want to torture you guys. No, because we need to learn how to work in groups. Okay, that is super, super important in the workforce. Okay, so we're gonna begin working on the group project. The group project will not be due till week number 13, but I am making it available for you since week 12. That way you can start coordinating with your group members, figuring out who's gonna do what. It is a group project. So you should be helping each other out. If a group member has a question, you need to help him out, provide guidance. Once the project is put together as a group, you need to go over it and make sure that it meets your standards, okay? Because I'm not grading this based on an individual, well, I did slides 5 and 8. Well, I'm not going to grade slides and 8 individually. I'm going to grade the whole project as a whole. So the whole project needs to be cohesive. It needs to flow. It needs to have accurate information, correct citations, everything. So if you feel that a team member is lacking in some of those areas, then you provide constructive criticism. You help each other out so you can improve the project, okay? So I'll go over that in a bit as well. Let me jump into Blackboard. So I've got my course here. Let me go ahead and go into week number 12. Okay, let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay, so week number 12. Okay, the first thing we have is your test. Okay, and I don't know how sometimes students miss this information. If you go into the weekly course content, I usually have all of my information, deadlines, everything. Okay, so I don't want to hear the excuse, Miss, I did not know it was due on Wednesday. Okay, I logged in on Saturday or Sunday and that's when I wanted to do it. Well, it doesn't work that way. On every Monday, you should log in into your classes or just look at your syllabus so you can know what is due when. Okay, so the test is going to be administered only Monday through Wednesday. The review is provided. This was provided for you since last week. You're going to have 3 workout problems, one from Chapter 5, one from Chapter 6, one from Chapter 7. The problem from Chapter 5 deals with sales-related and purchase-related transactions using a perpetual inventory system. Chapter 6 problem is problem 6.5, dealing with periodic inventory using FIFO, LIFO, and weighted average. And then problem 7.3 deals with preparing a bank reconciliation and the necessary adjusting entries. Okay, each of the workout problems is worth 40 points. Now, all of these problems have been assigned for homework, so they're not new. You've seen them before. Okay, so it's just a matter of understanding how to complete each of the problems. Please go back into your Cengage assignments, look for these problems. Please go back into the lectures for chapters 5, 6, and 7 to see if there's any lectures that I made that correlate with these problems, okay? So, these 3 problems are worth 120 points in total. Then you're going to have 15 multiple choice fill in the blank questions worth 2 points each. That's going to be 30 points. So the total points for your test is 150 points. 120 points are coming from the workout problems. 30 points are coming from the multiple choice questions. So you've got 150 points total for your test. That is 15% of your overall grade. Okay, so it is important. You have 2 attempts. I keep the highest grade. If you do not earn a 70% or better on your first take, please, I highly recommend, I advise that you use the second attempt to try to improve your grade. Okay, the more points you earn, the better. Okay, so this is what's going to be this is what's going to be covered on your test. Okay, I've also included the information for the group project. Once you are done taking your test, you move on to the group project. Okay, this week you begin coordinating with your group members so you can begin working on group project number 2. You establish communication with them. You get their email message, your email address, their phone numbers, whatever is it, or you determine how are we going to be communicating. Are we going to be using Blackboard messages? Do we want to create a WhatsApp group? Are we going to communicate through Pronto? Whatever works for your group. That is your decision. I'm not going to impose, how you communicate. Just make sure that you do keep your communications in case something happens where a student disputes. Maybe you all put that, Mickey Mouse did not participate in the group project. But Mickey Mouse says that they did participate. And there's a dispute between the group members. I want to see those communications. I want to see what Mickey Mouse contributed in. I want to see where Mickey Mouse ignored all of the messages from the group member. So I do want you to keep the communication in case something like that were to happen, okay? I do ask that you be professional, be courteous of your group members. There's no bullying allowed. Here we are to assist and help each other. And that way we can grow, learn, and get a good project done and also have good interaction with your group members. Okay, so do not delay in establishing communication with your group members, delegating responsibilities, be fair with each other, be in agreement with what each of you is going to be doing. Okay, so you communicate, you establish communication by the end of the week. That way you can begin working on your project and then you can have enough time to put it together next week. Okay, so let me go over the requirements. Okay, so you already have an idea of how I grade because we've already done group project number 1 and I did give you feedback on that. Okay, so the same thing runs for this. Make sure that you do meet these requirements. The presentation needs to be between 15 to 18 slides of content. Okay, now some of you like to put those title slides in between your slides, kind of like to take up space. Those slides, if they don't have content, they don't count. Okay, so you can put them in there, but they're not going to count towards your 15 to 18 slides. These are 15 to 18 slides of actual content that cover my requirements. And each of those slides needs to have notes included. Okay, so make sure that when you add notes to each of your slides, they must have notes ranging from 150 words to 250 words. Okay, of course, you can go over that, but this is my what ideally I would want. Okay, this is super important Okay, when you're presenting your information verbally, when you're actually giving the presentation, make sure that you include and you deliver the information that you put on your notes. You're not putting in there just to satisfy my requirement. It's in there so when you're explaining the slide, you are using the notes as reference and expanding on the topic that you have on the slide. Okay. So the information on the notes section should supplement the information within each slide. Do not overload your slide with information, okay? Don't put everything on your slide. Your slide should only have key information, key phrases, maybe pictures, diagrams, tables, anything of that nature on the slide. And then on the notes, you expand on whatever it is that you're trying to convey on your slide with your notes, and you just speak it out loud, okay? It's important that you cite your sources within the notes section of each slide as well as within each of the slides. Citing is very important. There's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to cite, okay? So make sure that you go back and you refresh your memory on how to cite your sources, okay? All group members must actively participate in the research, preparing the presentation, and delivering the presentation. Okay. All members of the group must participate in recording the section of the presentation that they worked on. I will not accept presentations that are missing audio. Now, it's very important. Let's say you have 5 members in your group. Okay. Before you start covering your slide, please introduce yourself. Okay. And at the beginning, when you are presenting your group, this is group number 3. Group number 3 is composed of Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, whatever. State your names. Okay, I want to know who are your group members. Only include the group members that participated in the project. If a group member did not participate, then you don't include them in the title slide, and that's it. When you begin your section, introduce yourself. Hi, this is Mariana, and I will be presenting the next part of the presentation. Or hi, this is Luis. I'm going to be presenting, whatever is it that you're presenting. Okay, introduce yourself. That way I can hear, okay, who is it that is speaking? Okay, and I can mark it off and say, okay, Julian presented, Maria presented, Pedro presented, and I can keep track of the group members that presented. Okay. So the title slides must be included, which includes the names of all of the group members that participated only. Okay. A reference page needs to be included, as well as in-text citations within the slides and the notes section. Okay. If you obtain this information from a source, even if you paraphrased it, citations must be included. Okay. It's encouraged that you use statistics, graphs, charts, images, anything that makes your presentation more dynamic. Okay, so that is just kind of like the layout. The layout is very similar to that of the project number 1. Now, what are we going to be covering in this particular presentation? Okay, this presentation deals with IFRS, which is International Financial Reporting Standards, versus Gaap. Okay, so you're going to provide a history background of International Financial Reporting Standards and U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, Gaap. Okay, this can include, but is not limited. You can put whatever you want of why and when IFRS and Gaap were created, a timeline of its development, the decision-making process. How do they know how to establish what rules, etc. Okay, these are just some ideas. That's the first requirement. Give me a good history or background on both IFRS and Gaap. Why were they created? What's its purpose? All of that stuff. Now, the definition overview of explaining IFRS and Gaap. This can include the purpose, the mission, who uses this information, its structure, etc. It's up to you. Anything that you feel is important information. We are going to pretend that the audience has no idea what International Financial Reporting Standards and Gaap are. So you have to give basic information so we can have a general understanding of what is going on. Okay, so we can learn about IFRS and Gaap. Okay, now the third requirement, I have it in bold because it is super important. Okay, you have to identify and explain. The key word is explain. 8 significant differences between IFRS and Gaap. Okay, these differences should explain how IFRS and Gaap accounting practices or principles differ. Okay. Do not include as a difference that one is rules based and the other is principle based. Okay. That is just general information. Or that Gaap is employed in the USA and IFRS is international. Those are two things I do not want you to include as part of your 8 differences. Okay. Differences should be, okay, maybe how the financial statements are prepared, how do they account for inventory, whatever the case might be. I want to know 8 accounting differences. Okay. How do how do they differ? How does IFRS and GAAP differ when they're actually doing accounting? Okay. Accounting differences. Okay. So make sure that you identify a difference and explain it. Okay. Next, you're going to provide 3 reasons to identify why IFRS has not been implemented in the United States. Please be detailed and include facts and statistics. Okay. And then last but not least, does your group believe IFRS will be implemented in the United States in the near future? Why or why not? Now, the key here is, does your group believe? Okay. I don't want to see, well, I think or I believe. This is not I. This is we. We as a group determine that IFRS will not be implemented because, or we as a group believe IFRS will be implemented within the next 3 years because, whatever is your reasoning, include it. But it's not I, it's we. This is a discussion that you as a group need to have. What do you think, classmates? Do you think it is going to be implemented, not implemented? Get feedback from your group and then make a decision and pose it as from the perspective of the group, not an individual answer. Okay. The group project is worth 100 points. That is 10% of your overall grade. 90 points is coming from the presentation. 10 points is coming from the self and peer evaluation. That's going to be made available to you week number 13. Okay. I did put you in groups, and I'll go over that in a bit. Only group members that participate in the group assignment will obtain points. Please be courteous. Please respond to your classmates. I know we all have busy schedules. We have jobs. We have kids. We have sick parents. There's a million things going on in our lives. I understand. But I also understand that, we need to respect the time and effort of other students, and we need to respond timely. Okay. Maybe set your schedule. Let them know this is what my schedule looks like. I might not be logging in or responding, but you know what? I'm going to provide you updates every 2 days or whatever the case might be for you. Okay. Just maintain communication with your group members and respond to them timely, especially at the beginning, to coordinate who's going to be doing what. Okay. Every group member must complete the self and peer evaluation to obtain the project points. If you do not turn in the self and peer evaluation, you're going to get a big fat 0 for the entire assignment. Okay. I don't care if you participated in the group project. You need to turn in the self and peer evaluation to get a grade for the project. Okay. Please be truthful on what you put on your self and peer evaluation. I read those and I do use that to determine, okay, should I be giving full points to a group member? Should they be included, not included, so on and so forth. Okay, so just be truthful on your responses when you're rating your classmates. Okay, students are going to have weeks 12 and 13 to complete the group project. The project is due April the 18th, which is a Sunday at 11 p.m. Okay. Each team needs to designate a team leader that is going to be responsible for submitting the final presentation. Only one submission per team will be accepted. Okay, I will not accept late assignments. It is super important that we stay organized and that we become familiar with keeping up with our deadlines and making sure that we meet those deadlines. Okay. Excuse me. So this is made available to you. You can read through it carefully. If you have any questions, concerns, reach out to me. Okay. Now, the group member list. I put you all in groups again. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. Okay. I've got 4 groups with 5 group members, and then the group number 5 has 6 group members because of the distribution of the number of students. Okay. Please reach out to each of your group members. And please respond if you are receiving a message from your group members via Blackboard message. Please respond to them, provide necessary information so that you all can coordinate going forward from that point. How will your group be communicating? Okay, whether it be Blackboard messages or outside of Blackboard, like using WhatsApp or whatever, as long as you communicate. But please make sure that you establish by when. Okay, you all need to get in contact with me by this date. If not, you're going to be kicked out of the group. Okay, we cannot be waiting on students for the last minute to want to participate. As a group, you all need to determine, okay, if we don't hear a response from from any of our classmates by this date, this time, then they're not going to be part of our group. Put that in the message, send it out, and say, okay, if we don't hear a response by Friday, okay, you're going to be excluded from the group because we need to move forward. Okay, we cannot be waiting around for you all to decide to communicate. Okay, so this is a group member list for group project number 2. It is also posted on Blackboard. Okay, so the assignments that need to be completed this week, once again, is the only assignment that needs to be turned in is your test number 2, and that is due by Wednesday, April the 7th. And then you can begin working on your group project. Okay, the instructions are there. The group member list is made available. If you need anything else, any other information, any clarification, please let me know. I'm here to assist you. And I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. Please give it your best when you take your test. Like I stated earlier, all of these problems, you've seen them on your homework. You've done them before. It's nothing new has been introduced here. So you should do great. Okay? So stay positive, and I want to wish you the best week. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.